Hello, today we are going to see an application called prescription management. This application is designed for general practitioners or in medicine. This is a part of a huge set of applications that we are building. I'm just sharing a small part of it and trying to show various development techniques that we can use with Lowcoder. In this application, we have used NeoDB as the backend database rather than Supabase. NeoDB offers a generous free tier and we are using that for this. So let's proceed. This application has got multiple parts as you can see over here. Edit prescription, duplicate prescription, prescription navigation, prescription list, dose, medicine master, medicine category, etc. Prescription navigation is the center or the main application which will link all the other apps together. So let's view it. In this application, we have tried to cover some important aspects of how to use JS-PDF to generate printable reports or PDFs. Okay, first let's try and understand the application. Prescription list shows the list of patients who have already visited a doctor. A doctor can add a new prescription can edit an existing prescription and can also print prescription. Print prescription allows us to print the prescription that the doctor has written for a patient. So I'll just select a patient and then click on print prescription and it will generate a PDF file of prescription. It takes some time, but it comes up like this. The logo, these are the symbols and this is the prescription. There is nothing rocket science about this, but what we have tried to show is different approach to achieving something that is generally required in a web application. Okay, on the left hand side, as you can see, you have prescription list which you can see on the right, and then there is an empty space as there is no separator feature available in the navigation bar at this moment. Okay, we just put an empty item over here and then under it are the three masters that the user has to add data into. For example, medicine category master. This allows a user to define the categories of medicine, like whether a medicine falls under the under capsules, tablets, injections, etc. After that we come to medicine master. Medicine master contains all the medicines that a doctor will use while prescribing a patient. Okay, so each medicine is related to a category. Dose allows the user to define the dose, like how should the medicine be taken. And instruction gives extra instructions that the doctor may need to give to the patient are put into instructions or under extra instructions over here. So let's go back to the prescription list and see how to add a prescription. So I'll just say add a prescription over here. On the top you have the date, that is the today's date. Okay, after consulting the patient, the doctor generally knows after how many days the doctor should call the patient again for consulting. So this allows the doctor to enter the number of days after which the patient has to be called back for consulting. Let's say 10 days. As you enter 10, it will calculate the upcoming consulting date over here. So today it is, for example, 3rd May. So the next date will be 13th May. This can be made as simple or as complex as you want. For example, the system could look into the next date and decide that the date that is entered falls on Saturday or Sunday, and inform the doctor about it, or etc. etc. User has to enter patient name. So let's say the gender, age. After age, if you look at the bottom, there is a button called Add Prescription Details, and underneath there is a table. See, we have not enabled direct entry into the table, okay, but we are using a method for allowing user to enter data into the table by using a pop-up. So when the user needs to add medicine that needs to be prescribed to a patient, the user has to click on this button and it will show a pop-up. As you can see, this is the pop-up. Here user can either select a category or can select all. If the user has selected all, which is the default selection, it will show all the medicines in the medicine master. But if the user had selected categories, like for example injections, then it will only show those medicines which are in the category of injections. Okay, so let's select injections, select one item, select the dose, and then set the quantity to a value over here. After entering the quantity, we will say add, and this will add the medicine information in the table. Let's add one more. This time let's add a tablet. So I will just select tablets, and over here I'll select a tablet. Sorry. So this way a user can add as many medicines as required. Extra instructions will allow the user to give extra instruction to the patient. For example, this is an infectious disease, so please wash clothes separately using strong disinfectant in hot water. Here the doctor can enter diagnostics. What do I mean by diagnosis? Means what the doctor inferred after examining the patient can be entered over here, as well as if the doctor has asked the patient to do any kind of investigation, pathological reports, then the outcome of those reports can be entered over here. After that, let's save the prescription. And this takes us back to the prescription list. This is the basic thing that we have created, and as you can see, the entry is over here. I could have given the print prescription feature directly on per row basis, but I just wanted to show a different way by which we can access the information of the selected row and work on it. That's the reason why I've given a separate button over here. So this is the base part of the application. It's a very small application, but we have covered a few different, we have used a few different techniques over here, which I will show you when we look into the development side. Thank you.